What evokes community, like the idea that we all come together, we stay together, we hold on to each other, and then basically no matter what happens, nobody goes under. Nobody gets lost by the tide, nobody drowns. The names for a group of otters is a raft of otters, and we're like, a raft, that's it, that's what it's called, because it's even, if you're building a raft, you can take so many different materials,
different shapes, sizes, everything.
Yeah, strengths, buoyancies, but when you tie them together, now you have something that's going to float and probably withstand some rapids, withstand some rocks, and we just thought that was really powerful. If you can stay connected to your raft, nobody goes under.
And we only stay afloat because of each other.
Right. Right.
Okay, everyone. Now, if you've been to my Dad Space podcast, you might recognize the gentleman on the screen with me today. And he's back, but he's brought his cohort, his partner in crime is here. The two of them together, we're going to be talking about a new book that's come out. And the Raft project, everyone needs to go check out the Raft project because it is amazing. I'm biased, but it is amazing. And Andy and Kayla are with me today. Welcome to the two of you to Living the Next Chapter. Nice to have you here.
Thank you so much, Dave. I'm so excited to see you again. I've been telling Kayla about our time on the last podcast, and I'm so excited for her to get to meet you here, especially the book kind of being her baby more than it was mine. So
our baby. But yeah, thank you so much, Dave, for having us on. It's nice to meet you.
So the one thing I've noticed when talking to the two of you, the cute level is like at 120%. So I hope we can make it through an entire podcast with this level of cute. So I love the way you look at each other.
9 years so far.
Yeah, we've been through almost 10 years with this level of cute. So we're gunning for a whole podcast. I think we can do it.
I love it. Okay. All right. So we have expectations are set. We're good.
Yeah,
for those that are new.
We can fight.
No fighting. No. All right. For those that are brand new to meeting the two of you, they haven't heard Dad Space yet, what is wrong with you? You need to go listen to that episode. Kayla, tell us where the two of you are in this great big world of ours, and maybe a little bit how maybe the two of you met. I'd like to know that.
Yeah. So we're in Arizona. We have lived in the Valley, we're born and raised all our lives. And then this year we moved up to northern Arizona in a little town called Sholo. So it's like 99 in the Valley, in the beginning of April, and it's like 70 something up here. So we're happy about that. That's amazing. And then, how we met, pretty young. I was 17, he was 16.
Yeah.
We met at church. And then we found out within a week of knowing each other that we were doing the same accelerated college courses, program. It's like no one was in that program. It was such a coincidence. And so, we studied together for a year for the same kind of test and courses, and then became best friends, and then became, more than best friends. And then,
And the rest is history.
Exactly.
Okay. So Andy, you got to give me some more context. Come on and share your side of this amazing person you're sitting beside. Come on.
Well, I've always liked her. So I mean, when it was sad when we first met. I went with my mom to church, and I was literally behind my mom because I was.
He was literally hiding behind his mother,
awkward and insecure, a little homeschool boy, and I was. Yeah, It was a little rocky, and I think that's why we didn't start dating.
I thought he was 12.
Yeah,
I thought he was.
But after being friends for a year, being best friends for a year, by that point, I'd kind of worked my way to okay,
inched his way in.
Yeah, inched his way into your heart there. So after that, man, so you're friends, best friends, you're dating. 3 years later, we got married, and I've always liked her, man. She is one of the coolest people you'll meet. She's incredibly smart, capable, kind, loving, and I'm like, she's kind of the best. So.
Aww.
So Kayla, did he get everything on the list? I want to make sure he got them all. Did he get all the points?
Most of it.
Funny and cute and smart.
Okay.
Funny and cute and smart and very, very smart. Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure we cover everything because that's good. Good. Awesome. I love hearing a couple's story of how they met. And I'm kind of like you, Andy. My wife is just like 6 to 7 months older than I am. So I married up as well. So I tell her I did that so that I could retire earlier because she's older than I am.
Okay.
So there you go.
You got to plan.
Right.
You got to strategize.
Our retirements are linked now. So, I mean,
yeah, our retirements are, yep.
I didn't game plan that as well as you did.
I love it.
We'll have a lot of fun along the way.
Yeah,
So the two of you have something amazing that I want to talk about at the beginning. It's the Raft project. No, this isn't a rafting club to go down the water and go get wet, right? So let's explain what the Raft project is. Andy, maybe you can start with a little bit of the origin story of the Raft project, and then we'll get Kayla to fill in the blanks for us. I love this.
Yeah, well, the Raft project, I'd say in general, is helping people build community wherever they go, so no one has to feel alone. So, I mean, in our journey, and in my journey in particular, like I felt very broken, and like no one really understood. No one would understand, right? For some reason, I was the oddity who couldn't make it work and couldn't blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't until I found community through a 12-step program, especially, that like made me feel like, okay, everyone is going through stuff. And a lot of us are going through really heavy stuff, but we're just pretty good at screwing on a smile and not letting people see what is actually going on. So at that point, I discovered like I really am not alone. I was going through a mental health struggle in our other business there, and we kind of built a community for entrepreneurs at the time, which over 5 years has morphed into the Raft project, which is basically a community for anyone who needs some help and needs some support right now while they build their community to go through their life. So the goal is for people to have their own raft, a raft compiled of whatever mismatched pieces come and go as they need, but that way they always have enough flotation to make it through life. And that is my overview on it. And now Kayla can tell you what I missed.
No, that was really good. I think that was a good, our ethos. That was very good. Yeah. So we have, like Andy said, a community where people can come, and I basically call it like instant support. Like if, a lot of people are like, that sounds great, but like, where are you finding these supporting people, these connected people, these nice people, and we're like, man, they're out there. And so if you're having trouble finding them or knowing how to broach that subject, or you want some practice, our community is a great place for that. And then also, obviously, we also have the book, which is kind of our manifesto / guidebook on how one might broach this new way of thinking. Basically. So we're trying to change the way the world does connection, essentially. We think, like, research says that connection and community is hugely important to our physical health, to our mental health, wildly important. And that was not something that I heard in my science classes, in the psychology classes I took. I mean, like, I just don't think we're talking about it enough. And even if people do know, no one knows how to do it, because we're also not taught that. How do I broach something I'm struggling with a friend? Like, some people kind of naturally know how, but some people don't. And so I just pointed at Andy, who know how to do it, and me, who do not. Yes.
Has
learned
how to do it.
Yes. And so, yeah, that's what we care about most in the world, I think, right now, professionally anyway. Yeah.
So how old is the Raft project?
It's a baby. Yeah. It's like 8 months old. So we,
still measuring in months.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's good. I love it.
Yeah. We had, like Andy said, the entrepreneurship group, and that we started in 2018. So I call that kind of our beta. So we've been doing this concept for 5 years, but the Raft project, LLC started last summer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. So tell me, how are people finding you on finding the Raft project? Is it like all social media based, website? Where are people going to find and connect with you guys?
I mean, people can go to our website. I think right now people are mostly finding us on social media and word of mouth. We're trying to, do more podcasts and start speaking, and we really care about this. And so we want people to know, even if it's not with our community, find a community, do something. Like, this is killing us. It's killing our mental health. And so, yeah, we're trying to get in some news outlets and just start talking about it, start opening the discussion. And start
going there first, right? Like, honestly, it's great to say you're not alone, but until people actually hear what you're going through
Right,
and
right.
realizes what they're going through.
Yeah.
Like it's important.
Yeah.
We care very deeply. So as much as we can help to move the needle in our country and your country,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I always speak for our country instead of trying to tell other people how to do their stuff.
It's very American
But-
thing to do.
Yeah,
Yes.
very American.
I love it.
We want to see this change.
So the one thing I know that we talked about in the past was that you do like an Instagram live thing. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that? I'm really interested.
Yeah. So I'd say it kind of centers around one of the main tools that we use in our community. So we do meetings, and in these meetings, we break up into smaller groups and run what we call a reel. So it's an acronym, REAL. And it's basically a way of talking about whatever's on your mind, the real stuff that you want to share and get support on in a timely manner instead of doing the, 90 minutes of small talk and dancing around it and maybe broaching the subject. In this space, we're all here to support each other, and that is what the time is allotted for. So on our Instagram lives, we basically run through that tool, the real REAL tool. So a couple of us will get to have a conversation about what's going on in my life. Like when you come on, what's going on in your life, and then we'll have a chance to talk about it after that as well. But it's basically 15 minutes for each person to share what they want to share and get the support that they're specifically looking for.
Can you say what the acronym is?
Yeah, so that's a great idea. Yeah.
Like to help people understand.
So REAL, R is to rate. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing today? A 1 being just absolute sucky and 10 being amazing, walking on sunshine. Once you've rated, E is to explain. So what's the story behind it? It's pretty easy. What do you want to share? What do you feel comfortable sharing? A is to ask. Now, this is my personal favorite part of it because it's basically your chance to choose what type of feedback you want. I think that's one of the biggest things that keep us all from reaching out for help is when we share our story, you kind of feel powerless. Like whatever they say is it's just going to happen and you're kind of at their whim. Are they going to lecture you or not? So this is your chance to ask for what you want, what you don't want, and then make sure that is happening for the rest of the time. And then L is to listen. That's your chance to receive the feedback, receive support, and again, just keep steering as you want. Like everyone is in charge of their time, and it's our job to support them during their 15 minutes. So that's the gist of the reel. Rate, explain, ask, and listen.
And I love the fact that you're talking about an Instagram reel.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're doing an Instagram reel on reels and reels.
That gets
Real
very
reels.
confusing.
Yeah. I love it though. It's great. So tell me about who's attending this? Is it like a certain group people who keep coming back? Is it new people each week? Tell me the mix of people interacting on your reels.
On the lives or in the member?
Yeah, the lives. Yeah.
We haven't done a reoccurring yet, but yeah, I mean, it's usually like people who are comfortable talking about their mental health, people who are comfortable talking about, one thing we love about the reels is like, this is not a past struggle. This is not a, something I went through, but I'm totally over it now. Like this is the purpose of it is like, how are you today? What are you dealing with today? And so I think guests need to be comfortable, obviously sharing that with the world because it's live and it's on the internet. But yeah, people who can come on and be emotionally supportive to Andy because he has his 15 minutes and they have theirs. And, it's just a really sweet time to be there for each other. And it's a lot of times it's like people Andy hasn't even met in person yet.
Like
and they just have these like super deep conversations in an hour.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Like Jim, the other author I was telling you about, he and I did a real live and he and I never met before, honestly.
His Instagram and I was like, get him on. Do it. It's awesome.
He's such a kind man.
Yeah.
And like he's kind of, I feel like shares a similar mission of wanting people to know that like they're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And he shares his journey pretty publicly on his Instagram, but we were able to get on two strange dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like another level of thing there,
Yeah.
but we were able to have a real heart to heart conversation. And it really meant something to me. I hope the listeners felt the same way,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a surprisingly effective tool. Like this is something that we kind of developed through the group of entrepreneurs, but it's been
works.
shocking that
That's
it
the
consistently
thing.
works.
Yeah, it's like magic. It's like, I've never had conversations like that. And I care so deeply. I want to know. I've never known how to ask. I've never known how to then be vulnerable myself. And like, this works every time. I mean, it's just like, it blows my mind to this day. Like 8 months later, I'm like, oh my God.
And I think that's if I'm piggyback on that, like that is kind of the beauty of it, is it's not Andy and Kayla's hack on humanity.
No.
It's people want to have help. They want to give help. Like this is something that we all like have that desire to do.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get permission to do it sometimes. And it's hard to know where the other person's at. So when we, even just with our friends and family, we try and limit it to not be the obnoxious authors who are doing their thing all the time. But it's like, when it comes time, it's like, we got a half hour. It's like, I want to hear what's going on and they want to hear what's going on. Can we run a reel? So it's a pretty cool tool. And I'm excited to actually run one with you.
Yeah, that is going to be, I'm a little nervous because I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but I'm going to definitely go check out the other ones and be a part of the community. I really look forward. Thank you for the invitation. That's, I feel like I'm going to have to prepare and get in the right mind space and come ready to receive as well. I think it's a great idea. It's really, really good.
Do whatever makes you feel safe and happy and comfortable, but you wouldn't have to.
It doesn't have to be.
If it makes you feel better, go for it.
Right.
So this all leads to the point of our conversation today. You guys are brand new authors. You don't even have the book yet. I'm like, oh my gosh. The book is on its way. Let's start with the beginning. Like, when did it become a reality for the two of you that writing a book was in the cards? How did this happen?
Kayla, pass that one to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So last summer when we were, working on the branding for the Raft project and getting everything, filing, and Andy was talking about doing a podcast, which he would be great at. And I was like, yeah, you should. And then I was like, I just felt in my gut like we were not supposed to be focused on the podcast. We were supposed to write a book. And I was like, that is crazy. I have no idea what we would even write about. I didn't think we had a book in us at the time. I was like, we're, brand new
20s.
business owners. Like, who's going to read our book? Yeah. And so, but I have learned in my life to trust my gut or I will regret it. And so in September, a month after we launched, we started working on it. And it's been fun. It's been hard, but fun.
She'll disagree with me on this, but again, Kayla's primarily the brains behind this book. Like if our book is a baby, she did the equivalent of a woman's job with the baby, my job with the baby. Yeah. So what we both made this baby together for sure. Yeah. But her 9 months were a lot rockier than mine in this process.
That's fair. So, when you put it that way, it sounds fair.
This book is our baby combined mutually.
There you go.
But awesome. She came from a copywriting background and like she's always been this just quick and smart and a good writer, and like she has taken the stuff that we've worked really hard to come together. I'd say like, get our thoughts and, practices and the methodology for our business onto paper. So it's basically 400 pages of how to safely go from feeling disconnected to like moving towards connection. So it's not an overnight thing. It's not a switch you can just throw and have it be all happy rainbows and sunshine. Like it's a process and you got to feel safe while you're doing it.
That's so true.
So tell me, I like the name. I'm reading it here on the screen. Good. And you, how to get real support instead of faking it. That's so cool because that's like our go-to. Hey, how you doing? Good. You? Yeah, good. And that you're going to erase that whole conversation because nothing happened there.
Right.
Tell me, so is that kind of the impetus for the title of the book?
You said it beautifully.
You got it. It's so fun to like go on podcasts and hear podcasters read the title for the first time out loud. And they get, all of you get the tone, like it's good. And it's like that nauseating, like merry-go-round that we all do, the social dance, and you got it right on the head. And nice job.
It kills it. You're right.
Yeah. It's like wasted. To be fair, it's not we're not advocating people just never say like, oh, I'm great, how are you doing, ever again. Like, and we say a lot in the book, there are spaces where that is appropriate and being honest is not appropriate. But our point is like, maybe if there was a space where it was a good time, like let's push that boundary a little bit,
If you want genuine support and connection, there are other ways to go about it, right, instead of just the classic one that gets you nowhere. Yeah. Okay,
so describe to me the reader that you had in mind when you crafted Good and You.
I think, well, first of all, I don't really read books. I find books belabor the point, which is...
Okay, so a little warning here for all listeners who read. The warning, the following content is just an opinion.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. No, and it's so stupid. I think I was like such a type A perfectionistic, good grades girl in high school and college, and I just got burned out, and I don't read anymore. But Andy does.
I listen to audiobooks.
He listens to audiobooks. He bookmarks parts for me, and then I read those specific parts of his books. But yeah, that said, we read a lot of, psychology, mental health, trauma. We read a lot of Brene Brown. We just read Oprah's book. And
Oprah and Dr. Perry.
Yeah.
What Happened to You? That was another.
And so I think we probably wrote this book for people like us who are in the space. And I don't know if we want to call it the self-help space, but maybe the personal growth space, that are finding, I feel like there's this resounding chorus in everything that I've seen so far. That's, you need friendships, you need connection. It's so important. Here's the importance of vulnerability. Here's some of the ways you can be vulnerable. And then I feel like that's the scope of the book. And then it's over and you're like, okay, but like, okay, I'm sitting down at coffee with my friend. Now what do I do? What do I do? What do I say? And we joke we're emotional, like blue collar workers. We're not researchers. We're not intellectuals. We're not, we're not therapists. We have degrees, but not anything past that. And so we're putting the muscle and skin on the bones, and we're like, in real practical layman's terms, this is one way you could approach this. And so, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. That was roundabout.
That's good. I feel like we were on a tour. I love that.
Yeah. And this has been like the book has been a byproduct of like the last 5 years of trial and error learning through our support group for entrepreneurs that eventually morphed into the Raft project, which is for everyone.
A lot of conversations, a lot of seeing what will work.
A decade of our own inner work.
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, like that's been a hell of a process there. but yeah, we didn't come by this through the research. We came by it through the practice and things that have just surprisingly worked. Even though we have, we started the group and it has been so consistent. People want to do this with each other.
Yeah.
And like, this has been our lessons on how to help facilitate it versus trying to jam it down someone's throat. Like, oh, be connected. It's like, no, for the readers who want to be more connected, who feel that like pull towards something, like, great, but how do I? Right. That's where this book really
where it's like, if the self-help books aren't helping, like, sometimes I think we need somebody to sit across from and process with. We need something, like, we cannot heal in an echo chamber. It's just, I've not found that to be true at all. And maybe some people can, but like, I think sometimes we put such an emphasis on self-care, self-growth, or self and a therapist. And I love that. And we have to do that. We have to be able to walk on our own, but we don't have to walk by ourselves. And I think that's the part that gets missed. And it's devastating for the results, if you want to say that. Like, if it's devastating for your healing journey, it's devastating if you're trying to get somewhere, if you're trying to be somebody specific. Like, you need people to help you, to buoy you in that process, to help you get out what's here and here. And it doesn't have to be a therapist all the time. Therapists have a very specific thing that they do, that they have had training to do. And we are in therapy, and I love therapy. I'm not saying please get a therapist if you can.
It's very helpful.
But sometimes you just need someone to talk to. You just need a friend. You just need someone who can see you and say, like, no, you're not crazy. That's really hard. Or, I went through that last summer, and here's what I did, and here's what I experienced. We need so much more of those conversations than 1 hour of therapy every 2 weeks can get us.
Right. Yeah. So from the book, I like to kind of go down this path a little bit. Of all the stuff that's contained in the book, is there anything that you personally, the two of you, are still working through that you would say that you're not like there yet? And the book, your own book, is challenging you? Oh. And what is it? And what is it from your book?
I told you he had good questions.
Everything in the book. I mean, we are that's why people like laugh at me, because I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she was like, I have this person that I want to join the group, but they won't join because they're scared. I'm like, oh, it's terrifying. I'm terrified every meeting. And right. She's like, you're the founder. I was like, I know. I founded it because it's terrifying, but I know the importance of it. And so I would say the whole book, like the boundaries chapter, we were writing the boundaries chapter, and this man, sometimes the things that come out of his mouth, I'm just like, we were writing it, and I was asking him questions because we did transcription to get the first parts on paper. So I had there was no blank page for me to write from. And I was asking him questions, about boundaries, and he's such a teacher, and he puts things, he said bowling bumper boundaries. And I was like, oh, whoa. He's like, yeah, you say it. You're going to say it better.
Well, like, I assume you've been bowling a time or two.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I use those bumpers all the time. That's how I could put points, yeah.
So when you're going bowling, if you're there to have fun and you're not, like, there to, like, dial in your points and your skill, like, throw the bumpers on. Like, no, they don't count against you anytime you hit them. Like, the goal is for everyone to have fun, relax, and enjoy the time together. So,
it's a quick redirect. It's not a big deal. And that's something I've struggled with my whole life, is boundaries and when to say something and when not to. And it's been a huge unlock for me. And I'm definitely practicing everything in the book. Well, how about you? What are you still practicing?
Well, just like the idea of bowling bumper boundaries, real quick on that one. Like if I want someone in my life, like I want Kayla to be my friend, I want us to go have a good time bowling, right? Like I want us to have fun together and like have a good, healthy relationship. And if she throws a ball that's going to go in the gutter, like, because I want to play and I want us to have fun together, I might throw a bowling bumper boundary up and be like, hey, if you don't mind, can we actually like talk more about the feelings than like try and hammer it out right now and fix it? And because she wants to play the game and have fun, she's like, yeah, sure. So we'll just kind of bounce our ball down, and there's no ill will. There's no, you really hurt my, like, it doesn't shut down the game. It keeps the game going. Yeah. Like bowling bumper boundaries have been really a life-changing experience for us.
One of many. I mean, I can't be overstated. Yeah. Everything in the book
applies.
If you, like, and we tell our community, because we are not, we don't put ourselves as like the, experts in this. We're just like, hey, we're trying to figure this out, and we think you are too. And I invite people all the time to be like, hey, if I'm not living this out in some way, or like you need to communicate with me, do it, because I'm not good at this. This is why we're learning.
These are the things that have changed the course of our life. And they're all very much still changing. Like it is dynamic.
What I love about the bowling bumper analogy, I got to say that carefully so I can get all the words out properly, is if you're a professional bowler, those bumpers don't mean anything. They're not in your way.
Right. Right.
It doesn't matter if they're there or not, because you're not going to put them in the gutter because you're a professional. Right. And if you're brand new to bowling and you've never done it before, they're not really in the way either, because they're not blocking the pins. So, right. So everyone can come to it levels the playing field.
Right.
It makes it fun for everyone. And if we could make those little bumpers common, and I'm kind of segueing to the topic, but if we can make them common and expected, then it takes a little bit of the fear of using them or having them as a resource, right? Because they're just there.
Hit it.
Yeah.
Right.
Bowling
they're just there.
Feels great when you have bumpers. It feels fun. Otherwise, it just sucks. It's no fun.
You can have a drink and fries and relax and enjoy the day. Like, it's great.
So, and I feel like I'm back in grade 8 and at a birthday party with cold pizza and too much pop. Yeah. The one thing that I think, which is a misnomer for people who are reading, is they think that the moment the two of you have a book, that you've attained some high, lofty mountain and you're looking down on us as readers saying, follow me to the top of the mountain. I've figured out everything. I'm an expert and look what I've learned. I've written a book. And we think that you are beyond us.
Yeah.
And then a gap becomes in that space where I have this opinion of you based on the fact that you have a book, that you must be further down the road.
Right.
And that you've lived everything in every chapter, living the next chapter. You've lived everything in every chapter, and that you're here to teach us.
Right.
But you're telling me that you're living it, right? You're living your book. You're not talking about what you've learned, but you're showing us what you're learning.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Like there are some things that we know to be true from our experience. That's why we wrote the book. Do we practice them all the time? No. Are we working on them? Yes. Are we? Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And I think one thing that we're very aware of is like, we are two like middle class, white, privileged, coming from loving 2-parent homes. Like we have a very privileged situation that like our advice is wrong for some people.
For some people.
Like we very much encourage people, like, do what you feel comfortable and safe with. Like, here is our perspective. Like, if we align here and here, like, take it, run with it, change it, adapt it. Like, this is not the right way to do connection. This is one way that we have found has worked. Nice. And like, everyone is going to be different. Yeah. So we want people to be different. There are communities that we can't reach as best as we try. We're not the right fit. So like, they will have their adaptions and you'll have your adaptions. And we just want to see people move from disconnection and drowning to like more support together and interdependence. Yeah. It's there.
That's the thing. When you see some books on the shelf, this is the only way, the best way.
Right.
The proven method. And then there's us. We're like, well, right. I tried all those books and they didn't work for me. So I guess I'm not proven, expert, none of those things.
Right.
Broken.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're 30 and 29. Like we would never say like we have we figured it out. Like we're two kids from Phoenix and we're just trying to figure it out with everyone else. So
take like one of the things that we learned kind of from the 12-step community is take what you like and leave the rest.
Yeah.
It's eating chicken wings. Like eat the wing and spit out the bones that you don't like.
Yeah.
That you don't want to swallow. Like all good. Take what you like and leave the rest.
So for somebody who's sitting there, they have their computer out right now, their laptop up, they're sitting on the page, they're ready to buy the copy of your book, they're ready to add to it to the cart. What's your message to them before they click purchase? What would you like to tell them?
You are not alone. You're not broken. If you think that you're the only one going through stuff, know that our culture is extremely incentivized to make that look like reality. Everybody's going through stuff. And if you would like to start changing the way that looks in your life, this is a way to do it. And like Andy said, take what you like, leave the rest. We hope that you feel loved as you read because we care so deeply. And we hope it feels safe. And we hope you enjoy it. I mean, have fun.
I'd say like it's a big process. And I would encourage everyone to like take it at their own pace.
Yeah.
And if they're like, man, I really should buy this book, but I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Then I would say skip it for now.
Yeah.
Like throw it in the wish list, maybe come back to it later. And like if it's something to piecemeal, like this is the whole point of the book is that this is a big, scary, daunting process with real world consequences. Yeah. If you run into your boss and spill your guts, like that's going to have some consequences. Yeah. Like we want people to have this be a sustainable change in the way that we do connection. And that takes time.
This is 6 years of our lives. So we, and we're still going. So exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah. It has to be sustainable and it can't be a quick flash.
Yeah.
So like take it at your own pace.
Fireworks don't last for the long term.
No.
They're great in the moment, but
right.
Come back tomorrow, they're going to be all done. So I'd rather have something that lasts, a slow burn, support, community, that's there for you when you need them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's changed our lives for the better.
Nice. Okay, so guys, where do people go? How do we find it? Give me all the deals so that people can find the book and find more about the two of you.
Yeah. So our website is theraftproject.com. There's a page there for the book. You can search for it on Amazon, but it might not come up yet. The SEO is catching up. So we'll give you the link. The ebook is 99 cents until the 16th. So if you want it, now's the time to just get the digital copy and go through it. But we also have paperback and hardcovers available. And we are on social at The Raft Project on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yes.
Did I do good?
I think you did good. You got
I hate that question. I'm like, okay. And then with
most places we're at The Raft Project and theraftproject.com.
Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful. Awesome. And so on top of the book, top of the website, do you guys have anything else that you offer to your community where they can connect with you and work with you? Is there anything else that they can find on the website as well?
Yeah. So there's, it's not launched yet, but it will be in the next couple of days. We've got a free workbook, a digital workbook that they can download to go through the book with. We also do a free introductory meeting. You can come to one of our group meetings for free to just see if you like it, try it out. So that's on the website too. You can register for that. And yeah, you know us, we're always down for conversation. And if you have questions or if you have, something you want to share with us, we're totally down for that. DM us. Both of our emails are just Andy and Kayla respectively at theraftproject.com. So yeah, hit us up. We love this stuff. We love it.
Yeah. And like, if this is hitting that kind of soft spot where it's like, it's hitting like, yes, this is what I need right now. Like, then I'd say that the free meeting, to just try it out is probably where I would point people.
Yeah.
Just because that has been like the biggest change for me personally is having people who do get it and like having a consistent history of like, this has gone well. And I think I can look for more of this in my life. Like that's where I'd point people personally.
And the next time you're in a group setting and someone asks you, how are you? And you say, good. And you, I want you to go, wait a minute. That reminds me of a book that you need to buy. And there's your perfect opportunity to help Kayla and Andy support their book launch and the great things they're doing. So anytime those words, good and you, come out of your mouth, I want you to then complete the sentence and go, good and you is a book you need to buy. Okay, that is now the sentence. Good and You is now a book you need to buy.
You've got our next marketing campaign all dialed in.
Yeah, man.
What do you think?
You're good.
What do you think, Ray? I'll send you the bill. Thank you both for being part of this. And again, the cute level has remained at all time, 120% the whole time. Well done, the two of you. Thank you for making time for our audience, for me. And I can't wait to come on your Instagram reel and be real with everyone. Is looking forward to that. Thank you both.
Yes.
Inspiring to have you both on. And I told you, Kayla, Andy was going to behave himself the whole time. You're here to help with that. So Andy was well behaved.
Yeah.
So he gets like a little treat or something, maybe. I don't know.
Well, we could talk. We could talk about it.
Okay, all right. He asked if I could ask. That's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you both for being here.
It's been such a pleasure and an honor. Thank you for having us. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing. This is really cool.
Again, hyping everyone else up, man. Thank you.
Thank you both. Everyone go please check out the website, go buy the book, leave a review for the book, and make sure that everyone knows, again, that anytime you hear those words, good and you, fill in the sentence because you need to complete that sentence. Thanks, guys.
And hyping everyone else up, man. Thank you.
Thanks for being part of the podcast again. Appreciate you investing time in the show and you're listening this far, thank you. One thing to keep in mind is we are looking for help and some support for the podcast. If you are able to help support our show, our little podcast show here, we can go over to livingthenextchapter.com and all the instructions will be there to help support the show. It takes about $30 to $40 a month to do this, just for the hosting and all of that other stuff that we pay for. But if the show is giving you any value and you're enjoying what's happening here, would love any kind of support that you can offer. That would be great. And you being here and sharing the show helps us grow. Helps us get great new authors on the show, connect with other listeners, and build community. So whatever you can do to share this show today, I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here for Living the Next Chapter, and I can't wait to share the next one with you. Talk soon. Have a great day.
Mindshift Power Podcast, the podcast for teenagers and those who work with them. There's a huge problem in America today. There's a very large disconnect between teenagers and the adults who work with them. I'm looking to bridge that gap with real, raw, honest conversation, not held back by the chains of political correctness. You cannot solve a problem you do not understand. Want to understand teenagers today? Listen to this podcast. This podcast is for teens in the U.S. and Canada. To learn more, go to fatimabay.com/podcast or just look for Mindshift Power Podcast on any listening platform. I look forward to you being a faithful listener.